He won't force himself into anybody's life. And that has always impressed me deeply.
One thing I tell my atheist colleagues is that the reason why I'm a Christian and why they're atheists isn't because, we process evidence differently, or, I'm irrational or they're irrational or whatever. It's really just because I've seen some things that they haven't yet. And seeing those things really changed it. And I think that's actually been a helpful way for them to understand it as well. So, even as we're talking about evidence, for example, in ancient texts and things like that, or the evidence of actually experiencing Jesus or seeing it in other people, there's a very different thing about just talking about it versus actually seeing it for yourself. And I think at some point, ultimately, we can't force a person to do that. I mean, we can talk about how we've seen it, and we're just inviting them to come see it too. And I think that's a far better apologetic, if we're going to go back to that word.
Well, the Lord himself, Jesus himself, it always has impressed me that he came to a certain region, as the Gospels report, and he did some very spectacular things, healing people and so on. And the people said, "Would you please leave?" And he did. He won't force himself into anybody's life. And that has always impressed me deeply, that God himself, become incarnate, gives us space. I mean, the thing is absolutely amazing. He doesn't force. And this could lead to a long discussion, but it's very important, it seems to me, to look carefully at the trial of Jesus, because he was accused of essentially of being a terrorist, using force against Rome. And Pilate was desperately concerned, the Roman governor. "Are you a king then?" "Well, yes, in a sense, but not in the sense you mean it," said Jesus. "My kingdom is not of this world, otherwise my servants would have been fighting." Now, that is hugely important to someone who's been brought up in Northern Ireland. It shows that folks that take weapons to defend Christ and his message are not Christian. They're not followers of Jesus at all, because he said no.
It's funny you focus on the trial, but it makes me think.
I'm not quite finished. Just
about the garden, right?
Yeah, no, just yes, that's the background to it. But I just wanted to keep it very short because we're near the end. That Jesus did explain. He said, "To this end I was born, and to this end I came into the world, to bear witness to the truth." And Pilate said, "What is truth?" and went out and declared him innocent. And it seems to me that what John is telling us there is this: the one thing that you cannot get people to believe by force is truth, especially if it's truth about peace with God, salvation, forgiveness, eternal life. And therefore, we're not in the business of coercion at all.